Man, this is a long-ass intro, I can tell you that.
I thought we'd lost Chuck for a minute.
Do you got a pee already, Abe?
I do.
Probably
I do.
does. I got to make water.
We got time. We got time.
Okay.
You did lose me, to tell you the truth.
We saw it. We didn't know what happened.
I was trying to turn the volume up and I hit the kill the screen instead.
I hate it when that happens.
I can't tell which is which.
Not surprised.
Well, howdy, everybody.
Hello.
What's up? All right. What's going on, people? Hi, how are y'all in the chat?
Yeah, we're
lively bunch already.
They sure are.
We got, I see Philly Ed in there. He seems very animated.
Oh, Lightning Lee's in there.
Yeah.
And we got Liberty Cave, and we're just missing Hank. If we had Iowa Hank, Lightning Lee, and who else was the other one I was saying?
Liberty Cave, the barbershop
Liberty
quartet.
Cave, right? If we had the three of them, we could have our old man off. And I'm saying that with love.
Speaking of old man off, y'all missed a fantastic supporters call last night. Members only chat was on fire. It was awesome.
It was good. It was a good call.
Yeah, it was good.
And Evan Barsnack didn't really talk till toward the end, so it was cool.
Well,
Wasn't he like speechless?
Thank you, Todd.
I think he was. Todd, thank you. You got it, Ape?
I got it. I think I got it anyway. Let me go here.
You got some? I think we have some new people in here too.
We do. And we also had a super chat from our buddy Shane.
Way up at the top.
Oh.
They're in the starred comment section.
There it is. And so let me go back to the brand. Thank you very much, Shane.
Shane, appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And Cliff saying he had to bug out at the end of last night. You didn't miss anything. It was the same. It didn't get any better.
Nothing, Chuck. Sorry.
Yeah.
Got to do the update, man.
I guess.
Evan Barsnack, member for 9 months. All right. Evan Barchak, thank you.
Are you going to put that up?
Yeah.
We're saving Julia for the specials. Hey,
That's
Jen,
right.
that's a good camera. Good job.
What the hell?
Hops and
Now you can see. Pay no attention to that man behind the camera.
Yeah, look at when you realize what was going on, how fast that camera went off.
That's right.
Oh my God, you guys are seeing me in my
right.
shorts.
He didn't want you to see his massage device. So
his beaded chair mat.
No, my Swedish, never mind.
That one even got my wife to go, ew.
Hey, while he's figuring out what he's doing.
Off.
Yeah, I know why.
You kicked the cord.
Yeah, while he's figuring this out,
have the battery
I've been
charged.
getting tons of messages about the Hermes Light. Like tons of people
That old
asking
thing?
me.
Have you?
Yeah, I guess they're back in vogue now, and everybody's like, "Hey, what's that thing do? Do you still like it?" and all that. And the truth is, I hadn't used it much, but I'm planning to.
But
I got to do some work on it, and then we'll get it up and running. And Chuck's got his. He's using.
I've had quite a few comments. Simon has been PMing me back and forth quite a bit. He just bought one. Simon, the Jazz, Mr. Jazz Poda.
Yep, you see right there. Said he ordered it today.
Yeah.
Ron, you might not want to say that in public.
Yeah, I think they have an antiviral that'll help you out with that, but I don't know about that.
Just 2 fingers of this oily balm takes care of it.
And Ed's saying that we need to get Don to help us do a review. The problem is that if we ask Don to come on the show and talk about the Hermes Light, he'll just talk about the Anon the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Or he'll talk about his flex. That's just how he is. That's how he rolls. And we should probably add Don to the old man off if we have that.
Don is he's the orchestra. What do they call that? The maestro?
Right, the maestro.
Conductor.
He has all the Hermes, all 3
Keep
styles.
pointing at the wrong camera.
Don is Statler and Waldorf all rolled into one.
Both of them, yes.
Yes. I don't know what that was about. The battery's not dead. It just shut itself off.
Overheated.
Got tired of
Too
looking
hot.
at you.
I
You
don't
you
know.
done broke the camera.
This is a lot of freaking awesome for one camera to behold at one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking
Right.
awesome.
Freaking awesome, man. Oh, Steve and the fancy.
There you go. Jesse's liking the shirt.
It's not blue.
It's not blue.
Cornflower blue.
I don't
Hey,
even know what color that is. It's blue
Summits on
or
the Air
black
today,
or
guys.
red. What, Chuck?
You did what?
I did Summits on the Air. My wife went with me.
Wait! You can't talk about radio on this show. Oh, sorry.
No,
No,
you're
this is
thinking of
not-
the other show. This is
Yes,
this
those
is
other guys. There's 5 or 6 of those guys. Took the vertical out today. Ran 10 watts through the Elecraft, and it was kind of windy, but it did really well for the. We're only out there for probably calling CQ for about half an hour. I got 7 contacts. Montana was probably my farthest, and couple Seattle, a couple guys around. I talked to a guy here in San Diego area. I'm in Southern California right now, doing this stuff. So, I'm probably going to go out and might do a Parks on the Air on the ocean tomorrow and use the vertical again, but run 50 watts this time.
Ron, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes. What bands were you operating there?
I did 40 and 20 is all I did. I had the Elecraft. That thing will tune any of the bands that it does. I wanted to bring my my newer radio, my new AC that I got. Almost blew that one up.
We have some comments going on. I don't know if we're going to have to convene a ham court. James
can't
likes
believe
his
it's so
ham
small.
stick.
Yeah, Don's asking about a commercial 9-to-1. And myantennas.com, I would check and see if they had one. You're going to pay for it, though. But they have some
they're
pretty good stuff.
Yeah, they're the Netherlands, aren't they? Is that the one that's in the Netherlands?
No,
I think that's hfkits.com that you're talking about.
I think
Okay.
he's like up north someplace in the U.S. Midnet, somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Idaho.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure My Antennas has got one.
All right.
I saw a
not
video
buying-
where this fella cut them all open. He had them from all the main manufacturers. He was cutting open end feds though, and the My Antennas look to be the best built inside.
I have one since 8.1.
Yeah, I was gonna say you sent me one. I
They're
got it
pretty
sitting right
good.
here somewhere.
They're really good.
Mine
High
actually
end
might be
fed is
outside. I don't even know.
Netherlands.
Tomek, thanks for joining us from Poland.
Oh, nice.
International crowd tonight. Very good.
I didn't get any DX today though. That was the bad part.
What
Shake
bands
a
were you
pill?
on?
20 and 40. That's
Gotcha.
all I had time. I had to go to the airport and down. I wasn't in San Diego yet. I had to go to San Diego to the airport to pick up.
That's the
some
one,
off.
Tom. That's the one I was thinking of. High end.
So only had about half an hour. So
Gotcha.
I could hear
My
my buddy
Antennas is
Javi.
out of Florida.
Oh, Florida, really?
I
Oh,
mean,
you
if
know
you're in
what's weird
South
is-
Texas, that's north. So
The weird thing I've seen on that guy, he's got his own channel, and it's his name and everything, but he's acting like he bought it. It's kind of weird because I
Who?
think he's a reputable building company. But it was kind of weird. He was talking about it, but it's like this is the guy that owns this building, owns that company.
ESQL cards.
Yeah,
Any of you boys getting them?
QSL. Come on now.
What'd I say? Now what's that?
you said
SQL.
EQS.
Like you're right.
Did
Like
he
you got
say
your work
SQL?
uniform on.
Yeah.
Oh, ESQL. Yeah, that's like in database world.
Yeah.
think
Bert's
that's
got
nice.
himself a little HP portable photo printer thing. That I don't know if it's the right size. Looks like it might be too small for a QSL card.
I think he's saying
Right.
where can he get them? Where can he outsource that stuff to?
Oh shoot, CVS, Walmart.
No,
me,
son.
person.
Like there's aren't there places that specialize in this thing?
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
who was it? Who was
Online
T-Ray?
online printers.
T-Ray, email
Yeah,
me.
I
I'll
mean,
give you
you
a
can-
place.
You can
Snapfish, I
send
think
us
is one.
any of the photo places will do it.
But aren't there people who are like
Yes.
they help you design a card?
Oh, that's not
Oh,
what I
you mean
thought he
to
was
design
asking.
one?
Yeah.
No, those things exist too. Yep.
Dennis and I talked to a guy from
Vistaprint.
Canada that does them, but you kind of design he has like the templates and then you put your pictures on it. And his
Yeah.
stuff was real high quality cards and stuff. They were really nice. Dennis was like
There's a-
fondling them the whole time. He's like,
there
"Ooh,
is a
this feels
guy-
so good."
in the HRCC Discord swap meet room that has QSL card designing services for sale.
Oh, nice.
No, Jason, we're actually talking about radio. Sorry.
I mean, QSL cards is radio.
Yeah, yeah. He wants to actually print them out.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
I don't know, son. You're gonna.
Well, the problem you're going to get into is if you want them to look good, you got to use an ink printer, and printer ink costs more than gasoline.
Oh, he wants to
Your
print.
Walmart, you
I
should be
got
able
it.
to take them down and print them out
You
on the
could-
Walmart photo
yes.
printer.
Yes, that's what I'd recommend is taking them to Walmart or CVS or any of those places that do online photo printing, because then you don't have to buy all the equipment, and you're going to end up buying ink for that printer every other week because you're either going to run out or it'll
yeah, it's
dry
a
up
lot of
because you
ink.
ain't been printing.
And if you have a cat, good luck.
Yeah, Hail Mary.
Yeah, him without a plan. He's saying that his my antennas with the 24-foot element ended up getting all messed up, so he swapped it out. That's one of the things I've noticed in a couple of the commercially bought ones that I messed around with is that the wire that they use for the element isn't the best. So
My antennas is actually really good.
Is it?
Yeah, I had mine up for a couple of years, and it was black, and it ended up kind of gray colored. But other than that, that's kind of normal, you know. They use like
Gotcha.
14 gauge, I think.
James Hannibal, I'm absolutely with you. I get
Seems very
QSLs from
selfish.
people, and I don't send them out. I don't want to send them out. I'm not going to send them out.
It's just selfish, Jim.
I know. I'm all about me.
I got to tell you, man, James Hannibal, I've got more of the quirky QRP gear than I know what to do with. I got the shirts, I got the desk mats, I got 2 of them, I got the beer mugs. Did you guys get the beer mugs yet?
Beer mug.
No,
They're nice. They're like a 22-ounce size.
I'm gonna have beer tonight too.
I'm just kidding. I know the beer mugs, but I got all the
Save
other
the beer
stuff,
mug.
and it's quite a bit.
Yeah, James has got some good stuff on his website. I mean, we're not trying to make a commercial for Quirky QRP, but you need to point your non-ham
need
relatives
something.
at Quirky and say, buy me stuff from this website and you'll be okay.
And James is coming on the show on Saturday, so he'll be able to tell you all
is
about
he this Saturday? Awesome.
it. If only you guys had looked at the calendar.
Yeah, I
looked
knew
at
he
the
was coming
calendar.
on,
I was
but
worried about today. That was it.
he spends an awful lot of time with them clubhouse boys. I don't know if we want him to come back on, to be honest with you.
Well, I saw he gave them a code. I mean, they had a discount code. I'm like, we didn't get
What?
a discount code.
Yeah, what's up with that?
What's up with that, James? So maybe we'll cancel James at the last minute. And just not
You know what?
tell
They
him.
need they
We
can
ran out of
have the
time.
code. They need a reason for people to go over there. So
Well,
I mean,
that's
I'm
true.
fine. I'm fine
That's
with them
true.
having the code.
That's true. All right.
Oh, apparently we have a code. It's probably in your inbox, Jim.
It's not my inbox. It's our
Jim's
inbox.
Jim's just bitter about
No,
everything.
Jim is not bitter. I'm not bitter about
See,
anything.
he's bitter about
except
being
her.
bitter.
I'm not- except my ex-wife. So tonight we're going to talk about remote controlling your radio. And this is probably going to cause a little bit of, because there's about 100 ways to do this, and I guarantee you I'm not going to tell you the best way, in your opinion.
This
but
is
it will
Jim's
be
way
the-
to remote control a radio.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to talk about all the different ways because there's a lot. I've gotten a lot of questions on Discord about remote control, and I've gotten them in response to videos I've posted. You know, and there's. Yes, Vern, I am bitter you didn't buy mine, Vern.
There we
Really.
go. He's got the software
Vern.
included. He had the software included.
and the
Ri-
SWR bridge,
And original
$600
box.
value,
Had it all.
and the original box. Vern, yours was sitting on the back seat. I mean, you know, that's okay, I guess.
And that's the
Vern
only original
declined
box
the
Jim
original
has.
box.
Why does the original box smell like?
He was offered the original box and he said no, thank you. I don't believe in that.
Okay, all right.
I didn't comment on that. I didn't have the heart to tell him he was wrong.
Yeah, son, you need that box.
Right. So, do you guys remote your radios from outside the shack? Any of you
Sometimes.
use guys?
I
don't.
used to.
I have. I'm not a big fan of it though.
Okay. Fair statement. Well, there's a whole lot of ways to do it, and I guess we'll start at the top. I have some notes. I did not make slides because no one wants that.
But
I
your
did-
slides, I agree.
Oh, I agree. No one wants slides.
No, your slides. My slides are professional. People are
Your
like, damn, that's a
slides are
good looking slide,
Yeah,
son.
but you read your slides, which is
Look
the
at that
kiss of
slide.
death.
No, I don't.
Oh,
You
Burn
do,
just
and you butcher half the
snap.
words when you do it.
Snap.
Son,
Burn.
if you could read, you would read yours too.
Burn says he built his SWR bridge.
Okay.
Well,
I
well,
think he just threw
well.
that in your face there, Jim.
I don't remember seeing the video on that.
I didn't either.
Because
I
you didn't
didn't
make
either.
it.
So, the first thing you got to consider when you're going to remote your radio is how to turn on the power supply. That's like job one.
Yeah.
And you got 2 or 3 options you can do for that kind of thing. And I know I'm going to say this, and a bunch of y'all are going to pop off in the chat. The ape is going to pop off.
Of course.
You can use a smart device to turn your power supply on and off.
That's how they get you, son.
I see.
Alexa or Google.
Right. Mine can't hear you, so you can say that all you want. Yes.
Alexa, order blue pills.
They're on speed dial. Thank you. So you can use a smart plug, either on the Amazon function or Google. I think Apple's HomeKit supports smart plugs. I don't know. The Zigbee stuff, if you're still using that. So
Good job,
that's the
Jesse.
first problem, is you got to be able to turn the power supply on and off. The other options you kind of got on that is you can use an appliance timer. If you're going to remote when you're out all day, have it turn on at 8 o'clock in the morning and turn itself off at noon, or turn itself off at 4 on your way home. The downside with an appliance timer, though, is you can't turn it off remotely. So if a storm moves in or something, your power supply is still on.
So when you're talking about these smart enchanted devices, are you talking like a power strip that's got a IP address on it, and then you can access it via a hole in the firewall and then remote control it via a web browser?
No. I'm talking about an Amazon-enabled or Google-enabled smart plug that links with your A-word device. She's sitting right here. That doesn't require a hole in the firewall.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like some people get these IP addressable home automation stuff, and then you can have a web browser that you go to, and then you can control all the stuff that way.
Yeah,
We haven't graduated from X10 yet.
Yeah, right. Oh God, that lasted about a year too long.
Yep.
Yeah, you can do that, and we're going to get to something like that in a second. But I was talking about a smart plug that you can tell Alexa or Google, turn on this smart plug or turn off that smart plug.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right
Okay.
now. Please try a little later.
She's not
That's
reliable
usually what she
at
says
all.
when my internet goes down. I hope that's not a foreshadowing. If I was on Game of Thrones, this means I'm going to die in this scene. So that's the first thing the first hurdle you got to do. And like I said, there's 2 or 3 ways. I wanted to be able to turn the power on and off remotely, so I could do that through an app on my phone, or use the smart device, the Echo, the Amazon device, or the Google device, whatever.
And that's what you do?
That's what I do. Yeah, to turn the power on. So I got one smart plug on the power supply, and then because of the way the flex turns on and off, I have another one on the flex specifically. So the power supply lets the electrics flow, and then I have to tell it to turn the flex on, which fires up the flex. So, and like I said, then I can turn it all off remotely as well, and that disconnects everything.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now. Please try a
Yeah,
little
she
later.
sounds
I
real
don't know why she
reliable there,
keeps
Jim.
talking.
She sounds
Well, I
like your
haven't-
ex-wife, Jim.
She does. A little less shrewish, but not much. So that's job one. The second thing you got to come up with is, how are you going to connect to your radio from wherever you are? And I'm going to use work as the example here, but it could be,
But he doesn't do this at work. He's just going to use it as a reference.
Right. This is just a reference. So you can, and you guys, if you guys, Ape or Steve or whatever, keep up with questions, because I'm sure there's going to be some. So,
No, you're nailing it, man.
okay, that's what she said.
A 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. All right. So there's basically 2 ways that you can connect to your radio, and this depends on what kind of radio you have. If you have, I'm going to give some examples. If you have something like an IC 7300 or a 7610, and I use those because I had those and I know how they work, a 991A will do the same thing. If you leave those plugged into a computer with USB, you can turn those radios on and off remotely if they have power from the power supply. So with
Using the software or what?
using software like Ham Radio Deluxe or FL
Oh my God.
Rig will let you enable the radio. So it's like a
That's almost
soft power
right.
on, power off.
What was that software that we all bought from the guy who did the Flex software for the ICOMs?
SDR control.
SDR control, yeah.
It will do it.
Yeah, I like that.
It will do it. That's, yeah. So anyway, there's basically two types of connections. You can connect directly over the internet into your network. You're going to have to use a VPN, which would require some port forwarding maybe, or not. It's a better way to do it. It's more secure, but you may have problems doing something like that from your office. You know, if you work for the government, you're very limited. A lot of companies clamp down on you installing software and they don't have all the ports open. So your mileage may vary on that. If you're not using a VPN, you will have to do port forwards on your home router. Absolutely will have to port forward stuff on your home router to get to the radio. So
Don's
for
saying
example,
use Chrome Remote Desktop.
just
More
pay no
Google in your
attention.
life.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Slow your roll, Don.
Slow down, Don.
Ease up, Don.
You're way ahead.
So this depends on, again, your radio and how you can talk to your radio. So if you have a network-enabled radio, you can directly talk to it with an app like SDR Control or Smart SDR for Flex or Win for ICOM, for example. I think there's a Win for Yaesu app as well. I'm not sure.
I think there is.
So you can do that with port forwards or over a VPN. And you have to know some basic network and stuff to do that. It's not super complicated, really. The software talks directly over the internet to your network, to the radio over that network connection. That works well for anything that's not a time-critical app like FT8. FT8, a little sketchy because FT8, FT4, and some of those other digital protocols are real time sensitive, and the internet lag may cause them to not work as well as they normally would. They will still work, but they're just not going to work as well. There's the other piece you need, again, is the radio remote control software. So the radio itself either needs to have a network connection on it, like a 7610 or a Flex or a Hermes or an Anon, any network attached radio. And then, of course, you have to have the software to talk to it. Something like SDR Control, WFView, Win for ICOM. If you're really a glutton for punishment, RSBA1 from ICOM directly. Yeah, which is a hideous piece of shit software.
Yeah,
And
it does
there's-
look pretty bad. You would think that with all the money they're raking in, they could do a better job there.
It's terrible. The interface on it is horrible.
Well, if that old
Welcome
boy
to-
could write that software in his spare time, the SDR, whatever it was called.
Right. SDR Control. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you would think that they'd be able to do something there.
That ICOM,
Hey, look, Hank's here. Hey, Hank, buddy.
a
Yeah,
major.
don't go back
company
to the
would be
beginning.
able
We
to
were
do it.
talking about you.
We were. Your name might have come up in vain. And so I talked about port forwarding, and I want to jump to that real quick. And I do have one semi-slide to share.
A diagram. Did you draw some pictures?
No, I did not. I was going to get out my my Wacom tablet thing and draw pictures, but I thought that might be too much.
It's pronounced Wacom. Wacom's the game you play at Dave and Buster's.
Okay.
I thought he played a different game. Yeah, but
That's a different game, right?
Mike, that is absolutely correct.
Yeah, right. Mike, you give away your age there, buddy. So
Mike is awesome.
if you have to do port forwards, and this varies for every router in the entire world, and I don't want to get deep into doing network stuff, but the port forward dialog, it's going to be on whatever router you're using in some form or fashion. And your radio or the application you're connecting to over the internet that connects to your radio via USB is going to need some ports to connect to if you're direct connecting to it over the internet. And you're going to see a dialog box that's like, it'll have empty boxes and you have to fill this in. So you need to know, and this is an ICOM example here. So the ICOM 7610 needs port 50,001. So I'm going to go to my external network IP address on port 50,001. The router is going to forward it inside my network to port 50,001. And then some protocol, usually it's going to be UDP for radio controls, and then the internal address of the device. And this may not make sense, but if you jump in your router and you look up where the port forwarding stuff is, you'll see it's going to ask these exact questions.
And every single router has a different user interface, unfortunately.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Now you can use a different port on the outside, right? Was that what you were saying earlier?
Yes, you absolutely can. Yes, you absolutely can. So in this example, the radio requires 50,001 by default. So I could tell my router, I'm going to come in on 49,001 and I want you to send that to 50,001. What in the hell?
Hey, I tell you, man, you got the whole gas station set up down there today, don't you?
Man, these are brand new, high expensive USB-C cables. I don't know. That's
Ape,
weird.
you were right. Your slides are better.
I told you. People don't
They
listen.
say
we
the
were
slide.
keeping
This
Jim
is
out of that.
just an outline. Just an outline.
That's what I meant.
So let me ask you a question though. So a lot of people, whether they know it or not, use DHCP on their cable modems, and I'm assuming it's the same way on most broadband infrastructure that folks are accessing from their QTH to keep it in ham speak. And so my question is that how do you deal with the ever-changing external IP address?
That's a great question. So, oh Lord, I made that head
Told
get
you.
bigger.
Told you I managed a global
you
VPN.
need to let out some of that hat in the back there, son. So, Ape is right. When you turn on your cable modem, and I assume most people have cable modem or fiber at this point, they work generally the same way. It's going to get an address, an IP address from your ISP. And depending on what system you're on, they may change that every few hours. They may change that every few days. They may not change it at all. I'm on Spectrum Internet here at the house. I've had the same IP address for months and months and months and months. But the answer is go and sign up for something like DDNS or noip.com, and you can assign a name to your IP address, and you run a little app. A lot of routers have the app built into the router. So you would go set up an account at DDNS or noip and say apehouse.ddns.net. And the router will check what your IP address is and update DDNS or noip with your real IP address. So if you try to go to apehouse.ddns.net, even if your address changes every day, it'll go to the right address.
So you're saying you use URL trickery, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I use IP address trickery.
I like it.
But it's trickery, yeah. And
Trickery.
like I said, my address hasn't changed. It probably hasn't changed in over a year, because if it changes, I have to go update the Toad's digital thing for D-Star to even work. So
Well, you have to do that every day anyway.
yeah, it needs to get rebooted every day, otherwise it just crashes randomly. But yeah, so you've got to know your external IP address, and you can find out your address at any given time by going to Google and typing "what is my IP address," and Google will come back and tell you. Or you can go to whatismyipaddress.com and they'll tell you with some ads.
Right.
So-
Or you could you could do a
Beef
packet
chicken.
sweep. You could do a port scan on FBI.org or FBI.gov, and somebody will come to your house and tell you.
Right. They will tell you exactly what's what. That's right. Don't do what he just said, please. Don't do that. So that's the downside to using a direct connection. You got to know your IP address. If you use a VPN, you don't have to do port forwards because that happens in the middle of the VPN process. A lot of routers support VPNs natively. Some of them do, some of them don't. And that's like a whole nother technical show, getting into VPNs. The next option really to connect into your home network to control your radio is going to be software that lets you manage it remotely. Some of it is better than others. Some has a lot more functionality than others. Don mentioned Chrome Remote Desktop. I've never used Chrome Remote Desktop. I have no idea. Don, is it like a tunnel thing?
He used it
Or-
once. He didn't inhale, and he didn't like it.
I think he spread about it on
I think he
QRZ.
liked it. I think he liked it.
Because I think you got to do port forwarding.
He's using
to use
it
Chrome
right
Remote
now.
Desktop
I don't think you do. And
to go
it's
through
like
a NAT device.
it's like a watered down version of
Does it
VNC.
automatically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's two pieces running. You've got to have an active browser with.
And you
with
have to have
CRD running.
synchronization set up
Yeah.
between the two browsers.
Okay.
And it all does it via the unsecure Google Cloud.
Right. Right. And they know that
VNC
stuff you ordered from Amazon Ape. They know
Yeah.
about
Well, so
that.
you could do the port forwarding to your
Blue stuff.
desktop and use VNC over the internet,
Yep.
or VNC for a low monthly rate of I don't know what. They have a hosted solution that you can connect to, and then
Right.
when you go out on the road, connect to that, and it brokers everything for you.
Right.
Probably a better way to do it, to be honest with you. But
I
you
use
may
First
be got
5
some lag
users are
built in.
free.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's right. VNC.
Cliff, I just take a radio with me. and
What is
use
it?
that.
VNC Viewer or something? I've got it.
well.
I've got the free radios.
Well.
Kyle is no limits. I don't use CRD, so I don't know.
I figured he would be using that service from Flex, but what do I know?
I don't know if it works.
Well, he can't right now.
Node-RED. I thought I'd be using Node-RED.
It's down. It's down again.
I heard
Kyle is
through the grapevine.
Smart link off.
Bet you're wondering.
So
how
what I
you-
use is a variation of VNC. I use something called remotepc.com. It is not free.
That was really
cost-
popular in the 90s.
It costs about $25 a year or so. And it has built-in file transfer. It supports multiple monitors. It supports multiple resolutions. And you can keep all your PCs. They're all in your account. And it's the thing where it does you have the client running on your PC, you run
bet,
the
Ed.
client or the web client on another PC, and you can remote in. So there's a whole bunch of ways to remote into your desktop. There's Microsoft,
There's about a
remote
million ways you
desktop.
can remote control your desktop.
right? Remote Scampy, remote under glass,
right.
butter remote,
Lemon remote.
lemon pepper remote, Apple screen sharing if you're on a Mac, which is basically VNC. It's the same ports as a matter of fact, and you can use a VNC client with it, I think.
Yeah, so I use VNC and stuff like that when I'm at home. So like I use my 7300 is controlled via Raspberry Pi with FT8, and then I can go sit anywhere. Like I can go sit on my throne, and I can use my tablet to connect.
And you
And,
guys think he's talking about the bathroom. He's not. He's got a throne.
He's yeah. It's
actually
a
do have
replica
a
from
throne.
Game of Thrones. He's into cosplay. He dresses up as the Queen of Dragons,
Hey, it's
Mother
fun.
of Dragons.
Mother
Almost
of
lost my
dragons.
nerd cred there.
So yeah, there's a whole bunch of ways to remote into your PC. The upside is something like Remote PC, which again is what I use. I don't have to have port forwards. It is a secure connection, a la VPN. So yeah, and
Allegedly.
it's through their hosted setup, like Chrome Remote Desktop would be, or that VNC that you pay for, same kind of deal. But in my opinion, it has way more functionality than either of those things. They work, and if that's all you want, that's the minimum amount of flair. You do you. You do you. There's 100 ways to do this whole thing. So
Well, are
And
we going to
then-
get the big Jim recommendation though, or what?
yeah, the big gym recommendation is use a remote PC and a PC on your local network. Go with God. That's what I do.
But you also need the power dingus that you were talking about. And I saw a question or two about isolation of the antenna in the event that a storm comes blowing in.
Right? You go
gonna believe
to
in that.
Paradan and you get a remote antenna disconnect. So when you turn off your your power supply remotely, it disconnects the antenna.
How much one of them things cost?
It was
Let me check
100
out
and
our
a-
friend over at Ham Source and see.
100 and a quarter, I think, for the single.
And
The
those
double was about two.
they're not going to stop you if you get hit if you take a direct strike, right? I mean, that's just in case there's some static in the air, right? It's gonna help you out, but
Right. Nothing is going to stop a direct strike. You're going to lose
Oh, they've
gear.
got Paradan stuff here.
Yes.
must have already
John says
searched for Paradigm.
$129.
Jackknife
Paradan.
pole,
I've actually remoted my Hermes.
foldable
Wi-Fi.
solar panels, bioenno batteries.
So
But you
ran
you
the
remoted it from the same desk that you normally sit at, right?
There's the UPS
Well, yeah,
from
but I mean,
Paradan.
I could do it in the other room too.
That's on the same network, though, Chuck. It's not.
I know. But it's
But that's
remoting it.
that's
The
that's what I did.
Paradan
And
Well,
power
it's-
yeah.
strips.
Yeah.
I mean, when Ape's on his throne, that's what he's doing.
Right.
That was
Exactly.
okay. That was okay. But
he's just mad because you mentioned Hermes,
I know.
I could care less. I mean, if
That was
and
you,
I've got
Abe.
it. I've got
I'm
it
probably
on good
going to buy
authority.
one sooner or later, but
Well, you've been spending money like the Biden administration. I mean, I would expect it. I'm surprised you didn't get one already.
no.
So, by the way, while we're talking about remote in your radio, we got to talk about this giveaway for Ham Source. We're gonna
Is
do
that
this
tonight?
We're gonna do this on Saturday. We might do some other giveaways too. It depends on
Yeah.
how James is feeling. But I wanted to bring this up because Ham Source has been sponsoring the show for quite a while now, and we've been doing some giveaways, and they're giving away the 10 amp portable MPPT solar controller to one lucky viewer. It could be you. So stay tuned
Must be.
Saturday. We're gonna give it away.
Void where prohibited must be present to win.
Yep. U.S. shipping only. Sorry, all you people on the outskirts of town.
Right. You Oconus folks, we love you, but not that much.
Yeah. And
Well,
I
we
kind
get
of put
into
James on the
customs.
spot, and he said,
Yeah.
let's do this. I'm down.
What's he talking about?
Giveaways on Saturday.
Giving
I
away
like
stuff
this one.
on Saturday.
I
Listen,
said,
I mean, this guy-
wink, wink, there might be some more giveaways.
Yeah.
Latency.
Very good.
How's your latency?
Well, that's what I was talking about. For
Yeah.
doing something like voice, it's not a huge issue usually. For doing something like FT8, and Mike Walker at Flex has said this exact same thing. Now, the Flex software you can use directly over the internet. I can point it at a remote IP address and control a radio. I could do that with mine. I don't do that. I remote into a Windows or Mac here in my house and talk to the Flex over my local network because of the latency issue.
Well, you're
And that
just
would-
pushing the presentation layer at that point, right? You're
Yes.
not pushing payload.
Correct. Correct.
It's not you saying correct. You didn't know that till I just said it. But
I know what a presentation layer is, and I know that it's all TCP.
Which number?
Layer.
Which layer? Which
the
number?
the presentation.
No.
presentation
Which,
layer?
which number is that? Not what's the name of the layer. That's why I said number over and over again.
Yeah, which number is that, Jim?
The presentation layer is number
Don't stall. Don't
seven.
stall.
Number 7.
he had Alexa. Alexa
No,
just
you
told
wouldn't
him real
shut
quick.
up long enough for me to answer.
No,
Hillbillies?
you're wrong, son. You're
Listen,
wrong.
Squid Billy.
I'm over here, Jim.
So, yeah, that if you do it that way, you get rid of any latency issues, at least
Layer
with
8.
time-sensitive stuff.
It's definitely a
Um,
layer 8 issue.
voice-
Protein interface.
There's a
Pepcak.
services company called Layer 8. They used to call me all the time at work. And I didn't like them. I said, I'm not talking to you. people."
Shocker.
Shocker. He doesn't like anybody.
Not
So
really.
if you're doing voice, there is some latency. Typically, you're looking at, somewhere between 30 and 130 milliseconds delay, which again, doing voice, you're not going to notice that. If you're trying to contest remotely, it may be a thing for you. I've done remote phone calls all day, and I didn't notice a thing. But I'm also not contesting, so like when I do FT8 during the day from a remote location where I'm working, theoretically.
It should be fine, right? Because your PC's on the same network as your radio.
Yes, I'm remoting into this PC here with remotepc.com. And
Allegedly.
it's driving the radio. Yes.
Well, he
so
keeps
it's
telling
all there.
everybody remote PC. You probably got stock in that.
No, I ain't got stock in them. I just use it because it works. And you
Hashtag
could
not
use
sponsored.
Log Me In or any of those remote
TeamViewer.
software companies. TeamViewer. Oh, yeah. TeamViewer is fine until they decide you're a commercial and just cut you off.
Remote
I
my
remember the
PC.
first time I saw it was like a '97 remote control software on the Windows machine. I thought it was a trick. So like my boss
Right.
had it set up, and he's like, "Hey, check this out." And he's like, "See my keyboard and mouse?" And he starts moving his mouse, and it's moving
Really?
on the other computer. I thought I checked it because I thought he had a long ass mouse cord. I thought he was trying to
He
get
was
one over on me.
trying to pull one over on the ape.
Right.
So, like I said,
this-
there's a whole lot of ways to do this, and it just depends on what your end result needs to be.
Would this
if
work
you're
with
gonna-
Central Point Commute?
Will this what work with what?
Will this work with Central Point Commute?
I don't know what that is.
It worked over my Novell network.
Okay. No. Not unless it supports TCP/IP.
Nope, IPX only.
Yeah.
And dial-up.
IPX. Yeah. You've got mail. Yeah. This will not work over your Banyan Vines network or your Novell network.
Navy was all about the vines.
Yeah.
See, more than one person wants to remote from the throne.
Well,
You
can
got to
do that,
maximize your time.
right?
Multitask.
I don't stay in there long enough to get bored. I go in and take care of things that I need to adjudicate from the throne, and I move on.
I mean, I take a nice cold Coke and sandwich and newspaper, couple
Pork chop
magazines.
sandwich,
And
right?
some hemorrhoid
Pork
cream.
chops,
Pork,
right,
pork chop sandwich and some preparation 8s and a pack of Newports.
right. You never know, man. You could be putting in some overtime. It just depends.
The oversharing light is on.
Did we have any questions that anybody
We had
dropped?
one or two.
8.
Let's see.
See,
Yeah,
8
he's
started
curious
one.
about how the show goes. So am I. There's still time to get it right.
We answered the
Question
antenna
for when
thing.
all else is explained is a way to isolate the antenna. Yes. And then
With the with the-
CGNAT. This has got people's hackles up.
I don't know
Starlink
because
uses
I
it
don't
too.
have to deal with CGNAT. Remote PC should not be a problem with CGNAT. So the way to deal with CGNAT, VPNs are generally going to cause you issues on CGNAT. There's a few that may work. I use TwinGate from my office to here,
Oh.
as well as remote PC, but we're not behind CGNAT, so I don't know.
You want me to
I
answer
want to
this one?
say TwinGate would work behind
Yes.
CGNAT.
The Yaesu equipment actually works.
I was
No,
going
it
to say
doesn't.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
The
There's
Yaesu
no
software was
difference.
invented
Cost you.
recently.
It
It
does
was
cost
invented
you.
recently.
You gotta
Yes,
buy
but-
you gotta buy a deal for that. You gotta buy a little box, right?
You
Yeah,
got to
but I
buy
heard it
the
actually
$300 network adapter for the radio that doesn't come with it. Yes, that's
No, the
correct.
FTDX 101D, isn't that the one? That's the one that Thump has. It's all built in, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got the MP, I believe. The
He does.
I
200
thought-
watt version.
I thought even on the 101 you had to buy the network
he
connector.
he had to buy it. He
Yeah,
had to
you
buy
did.
the
Yep.
box.
It don't come with it. That's right.
And it's nice, man, because you just fire up I think it's a web browser. It might be an app, but I think it's a web browser, and it worked fantastically well when I was using his machine.
Yeah.
It feels like it was made in this century.
Yeah.
So as far as
I mean,
the
it
CGNAT
was
thing,
awesome.
I see a bunch of answers coming in. Yes, there's more than one way. I don't have to fool with CGNAT, so I don't know. Remote PC
that
would
the-
solve it because it's a
Is that
hosted
the
remote
SCU
system.
LAN 10, Chuck?
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, and you
I
can
don't- I've-
use the
I've had
RSBA1
nothing.
software to turn on and off the 7300.
Okay.
T.O., say that again. What did you say?
You can use the RSBA1 software to turn the
Yes.
7300 on and off.
Yes, you can. Ham Radio Deluxe will turn the 7300 on and off. SDR control, if you're on a Mac or an iPad, will turn the ICOM radios on
Here
and
goes
off.
Don with the Chrome again.
The
I didn't think
Ham
he
Radio
left his
Deluxe
house.
CRD.
will turn them on and off.
He might do
He
that
went to
from his
Huntsville.
sister's house.
That's true.
He's got a radio set up at
So-
her house. And a tower.
Agreed,
well,
Chris.
somewhat tower. A pole.
I would just like ham radio manufacturers, Chris, to get into this decade of this millennia.
Are we keeping you up, Ape?
Man, I haven't slept in like 3 days because of the stupid cold.
Yeah, and I'm sure WFU will too. Anything that can address the radio. And the thing is, like with the 7300, let's talk about that specifically. And the 991 would also fall into this.
So that would be
With-
almost all radios then.
No.
New radios.
What are you talking about?
You said if those two fall into it, I mean, who else makes radios?
I'm talking about a connection type, Chuck, not a radio manufacturer. I'm just giving two examples.
What are you talking about? Examples?
So the 991 does not have a network connection. Neither does the 7300. Both of those radios can be turned on via USB. So that's a case where you need to have a PC locally
And just about
with
any
the
new
radio
Bingo.
plugged in USB. So,
Which is kind of like a network connection, right?
yeah, they treat it like one. And SDR Control just upgraded in the last few months, and they will give you full SDR control now over the USB cable on a 7300. You may not get the PAN adapter. I can't remember. There might be some limitations, but originally
Really?
SDR Control would only work on network radios, networked radios.
But if I bought SDR control for my Mac, I would have to buy it again for a Windows machine.
They don't make it for Windows. It's only Mac.
Yeah, Mac and iPad.
Yep. iOS, OS 10, and three or four ICOM radios: the 705, 7300, 7610, and
I might have to rearrange my shacks.
Shacks.
yeah.
I got one in the basement and one upstairs.
Yes, Jody, you could use a USB server. There's several apps available for Raspberry Pis that you can have network addressable USB connections. It's the same thing. You're just moving the layer to a different place. But yeah, you've got
It
a
says-
computer on your local network with a physical USB connection. So
Now it says also supports the IC 7300 via USB.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't tell you exactly what that meant, now did they?
no, and there may be some limitations on it. I don't remember exactly. But
What
that's
about the
about it. I mean,
7100? WF View will do the 7100, I'm pretty sure.
has he got a? It should have a USB connection on that, right?
It's got a USB connection, but it doesn't have any built-in network server or anything.
Right. If it has USB on all the ICOMs, the current ICOMs that are in production right now can be turned on and off over the USB connection. As long as the radio body has power to it, you can turn on and off the radio. And it's like a soft power on, power off, but you can enable the radio's functionality with software. Which is what when I started out with the 7300, I remoted into a PC here that was USB connected to the 7300. I used the Amazon Smart device to tell it to turn on the power supply. Then I fired up Ham Radio Deluxe on the local PC that was USB connected to the 7300. It fired up. Then I ran WSJTX and did all that remotely. So yeah, if a radio's got a USB connection, I'd almost bet money they're all going to be able to turn on remotely, and some that don't have one may be able to as well. I want to say some of them, and I can't think of which models are running through my mind. Maybe a 706, and possibly some of the Yaesus. If you turn the radio on with the button, kill the power supply, and turn the power supply back on, the radio comes on with a push button. Obviously, if you have a radio that comes on with a physical mechanical knob, it'll still be on once the power supply lights up. So it depends a lot on what radio you have. So
I'm going to have to do some more research on here and figure out just what I can do with that USB cable on my 7300.
well, you've already didn't you buy the software already?
But I used it for my 705.
Well,
Yeah, same
you
software
don't have to
works
buy
for the
it's same
7300.
software. You
Same
don't
one.
got to buy a different license or nothing.
Shoot, I knew that.
No, but I want to find out if there's any limitations.
Oh, what
over
all
USB.
it'll do?
Ape, I expect
Well-
a video tomorrow.
I need a video, son. That's right.
Son, come on now. You ain't even do a video on that Flex you got yet.
It's a box. It's a radio. I did videos on the
Or that
software.
amp. Or that amp. What
See
was
you,
the other
Don.
thing, T.O.? Didn't what?
Whatever.
See you, Don. And
Oh,
the
but
tuner.
he's
He
got
didn't do
the
one
the
on the
radio,
tuner?
the tuner, the amp, the other amp, the amp dingus.
Right.
Yeah, I do a video and get at least 56 views on it. I'm just all, yeah.
On the old
Should do
tube
it,
amp, you
man.
get a lot of views on that.
Steve, I agree with you. It would be nice if they all had some kind of standard on the connections, but they don't.
But they like to say that their implementation is the reason you should buy their particular product.
Yep. And they all will do that. That's right.
I think I talked to my buddy about why the Yaesu doesn't have that. Yaesu doesn't give you all the particulars about their radios. That's the difference.
They do or
what
they
you
don't.
do with the
They're
icons.
secretive?
They don't. Well, he couldn't find it, I should say.
Oh, yeah, Chuck, you're exactly
do what-
right. I
to do
read
what
something
Icon
about
does.
that. They don't
Yeah,
they don't publish all the available cat commands
right.
that the radio will do. Yep.
They're a little more.
Because I had-
Sit
I
down there
think
one
it
day
was-
and start sending them.
Yeah,
I
you would
think I
think
had
that
an
somebody could
850
figure that out.
I had an 897 or an 857. I don't remember which one it was. And it had a very limited implementation with Ham Radio Deluxe. And they were saying it's because they don't implement all the normal cat controls, and we don't know what half of them are yet.
Hey, Ape, perhaps if somebody with an oscilloscope could sniff the wire and tell us what those extra cat commands are.
That sounds like a lot of work.
You got serial decodes, huh?
Yeah, and I would imagine that's what it's doing too, right?
Yep, it's serial. It's all serial. All right, well, guys, that's about the end of the stream. There is going to be Kyle is streaming at 8 o'clock, and we are going to respect the clock tonight.
I wonder why.
What do you mean? Are you he must be doing a flex stream? Are you going over there and joining his stream or something?
I am.
like that?
That's why.
Mike Walker is going to be on Kyle's stream. I've been invited to be a guest on Kyle's stream. And
Who
we need to
invited
respect
you?
the clock anyway, because we expect them to respect us.
That's two.
So who invited you? You invited yourself, right? Well,
No,
who
Kyle
what happened?
invited me. Kyle sent me a link and said, come on.
We're going to have a talk with Kyle, Ape.
That's right. Next time I see him, we'll see how much he wants to invite you then.
You'd have to show up somewhere, son.
Flagpole.
I've shown up a place or two.
3 p.m. Flagpole.
Right.
I mean, we beat this subject up unless anybody's got any questions. And if
Could you
y'all
talk more
if
about
y'all
your
get into
flex?
yeah. If y'all got any specific questions about any of this or whatever, just drop a link and drop a question in the Discord. The link is pinned at the top of the chat for the Toads Discord.
Thank you very
Friendliest
much,
bunch of
T-Ray.
hams this side of the Z.
Thanks, T-Ray.
T-Ray. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, I'm hitting the button. Y'all
Well, hold
gonna
on,
watch
hold on,
Kyle's
hold on,
stream?
whoa,
What?
hold on.
What?
Gray Man Poda said that he didn't get invited to the flex stream, so you should have a +1 and bring Gray Man Poda with you.
He'll
not-
he'll tell that story about his foot pedal again.
Right. I'm hitting the button. Y'all have a great evening.
Thanks for
They
watching,
all-
everybody.